Hello! Hey booktubers, it's the Hufflepuffle here, and today we're going to be looking at my process in Scrivener when writing a novel. This is novel specific, but if you want me to make more videos based on short stories, scripts, anything like that, I can also make videos for how I use Scrivener for that. Recommend you go through the interactive tutorial if you're a noob to Scrivener, or if you've used it for a while but never looked at the interactive tutorial. I just went through it not that long ago for the first time after using Scrivener for 4 years, and oh my god, it helped so much. So let's get right started. Yeah. I have developed an outline for uh example book, just to use as an example because I didn't want to use any of my current projects because that would mean spoilers. So look at this really great outline. You can read it, it's shit, but that's fine. Yes, that is Cat. Um, I accidentally set this as my desktop picture. Why did I have it? Because I like to make memes from Cooking with Cat because she says funny things. And I had this screen grab on my computer and I accidentally set it as my desktop when I was trying to set something else as my desktop. And I noticed that it looks like she's pointing at Gay Pirate Story and saying, if you don't write, I'll throw this rice at you. And I tweeted it at her and she thought it was funny. And so I've kept it because I think it's hilarious. So that's that. It's addressed. When I'm starting a new project, I go to Scrivener, and I'm going to open up fiction and a novel. Not novel with parts, because I add my own parts. So just novel. So we're going to choose that. I'm going to save this as example. And then here we have where, and I use Scrivener, and this is a folder that's in my Dropbox, so that way whenever I save it, it syncs with my Dropbox and I can access it on the Scrivener iOS app on my phone as well. Also, it's just a great way to back up your projects using Dropbox. So, create. Alright, now we're going to open this up. Okay, so the first thing I do is I get rid of this. So this is just, it describes what the novel format is. I don't need it, so we're going to trash it. Goodbye. I'd read through it if it's your first time using Scrivener, but it's not that helpful. So just, like, you don't need to. I've never read it. Well, I have, but, like, it's never done anything for me. The only thing that I found helpful was the interactive tutorial, so definitely do that. If you haven't before. Alright, now I'm going to get rid of this as well. And I'm also going to get rid of the sample output. It just shows what it'll look like if it's in a standard manuscript form, a paperback novel form, or an ebook form. But I know what it looks like. I don't need to look at that. So I'm going to trash that. Now, front matter is something that will be important if you ever want to export it in a specific format. So what we're going to do to get rid of the things that I don't really need is we're going to, whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. We're going to add 2 folders. This folder is going to be called extras, and this folder is going to be called info. And in info, I'm going to put characters, and I'm going to put places. And then in extras, I'm going to put the template sheets and the front matter. And then we can close those up, and it cleans up the binder a little. Now, the last time I did this, I don't think that you can, you can't put research in a folder for some reason, and I'm not sure why that is. Now, if you want, you can left-click or right-click, I know directions, and you can change the icon for these things, but I'm not going to do that because I don't care. And the icon is obviously this little picture. Alright, now I'll empty the trash real quick. Goodbye. Goodbye. Okay. Manuscript. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a sheet to research, and this is going to be the full outline. And then we're going to go back to this example outline, and I'm just going to copy that and paste it in here. Now, as you can see, my outline has the chapter number, the point of view of the chapter, and then a brief summary of the chapter. Obviously, this is not an actual story idea. If you want to steal it, go right ahead, but it's not very good, so. So I make sure that I have the full outline here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 2 folders, since I've added 2 parts. And this is going to be part 1. And this is going to be part 2. And I made sure to add these folders to the manuscript, not to just the binder in general. So you can see they're under manuscript. And of course, full outline is under research. Now in each one, I'm going to add however many chapters there are. So part 1 has 6 chapters. And part 2 has 7, I believe. Yeah. So in part 2, I'm going to add 7. And then I'm going to rename them the chapter titles. So as you can see, I've named them the point of view here in this outline. Alright, so now I've named all of the chapters, we're going to transfer the outline. So we're going to copy chapter 1, and we're going to put it in this note card here. I've looked at the word angel so many times, it doesn't look like a word. But that's fine. So I add it to the little note card here. And then we're going to do that for every single chapter. So, do that. So, now I have added the outline to each chapter on the little note card. So as you can see, the little icon has changed to a note card because there's no text in the document, but there is something on the note card. Next order of business is going to be to label them. So as you can see, the labels here are things like idea, notes, character notes, chapter, scene. However, I don't like using it like that. And then we also have the status, which is to do first draft, revised draft, final draft, title page, done. And here is what I want to change the labels to, because status doesn't really do anything except show right there or in project metadata, which is not something I look at very much. But label can show up on the note card, which is what I want to see. I want to be able to see what status it's at. So I'm going to edit the labels. I'm going to make this to do, make this in progress, first draft, noted, and then second draft. And then you can also add more colors, so I will do that as I add more drafts. We're just going to go to part 1, and then this is normally what it looks like, which is compiling all of the documents in part 1. And then we're going to command click on part 2. I don't know if it's different not on Mac. It's probably, I don't know, similar. So now we've selected both part 1 and part 2. And then we're going to go to the corkboard, which we see all of the lovely little note cards. And then I'm just going to command click and select all of the note cards here. And then double click, label, and label them as to do. And then as you can see, it shows a little color spot on the side, but I don't like it just being there, so I'm going to go into format, no, it's view, yeah, and then use label color in index cards, and then the whole card is going to be yellow, instead of just a little bit in the corner, and I like it better that way, but you can do it whichever way you want. You can also show it in the binder here. And you can outline a rose. I'm not sure what that means. Is that in here? No. Regardless, you can do lots of things. Alright, so once I have those labeled, then I guess I start writing. I don't think there's anything else I really need to do. I mean, I can go into info here and go to characters and add character sketches and label them. It's apparently automatically labeled first draft, which is interesting. But I'll make this one. Hey Charlotte.
Do you have a little adapter?
And you can add things like the role in the story. So he's the villain. I don't know what his occupation is. Let's say he's a politician, because that makes sense. Physical description, etc. You can add all of that. I usually don't really use the character sketches except for names, because I often forget names of side characters, so I will add them in. I will take a second to show you that in Gay Pirate Story. I mentioned I wanted to bring up the characters real quick. This is how I use the characters in Gay Pirate Story. It probably looks like a lot right now. You're like, what is going on? But I have them organized by where they're from, and I just have all of them in each folder so that I can look at the names and easily pick up where, what they are, like who they are, where they're from, what their name is, because there's a lot of characters in Gay Pirate Story, and it's hard to keep track of all of their names, all of their purposes, all of their appearances, and where they're from. So I use it simply for that purpose. I put a character sketch in, and I just write the name there, and sometimes I add a bit more information if they're a character that comes up a very small amount, but there's something key about them that I need to note. I'll put it all in there, but for the most part, it's just listed like this. So we have all the characters. Southern characters, Northern characters, Traytellan characters, Farron characters, and Gwendolyn characters. And so that's what we have. What I do, and then you can add places as well, but that's entirely up to you. Close info. And then we have it here, so I obviously close whatever file I'm not working on in the moment. And I would start by typing out chapter 1, Angel, and then start writing it. And I would change this to in progress while I'm writing it, and then when I'm finished, change it to first draft. That way, you can slowly see your novel turn into a first draft as you write each chapter, in looking at the label colors, which is super, super cool, and helpful if you need encouragement, because you can just kind of pop over and be like, oh, look, slowly turning red. And, yeah. So that's how I start off. When I'm writing, I usually either have it just open like this, or I will put it into composition mode. So you go view, enter composition mode, and this you can change the fade of the background. I usually make the paper quite wide, about that wide, and I up the text scale to 125. And then I keep the background faded only slightly, and it helps to keep me from getting distracted. And then when it comes to revising, what I do is when I'm revising a chapter by taking notes on it, which I first print out the book and I take notes in the book, and then I will transfer them all back into the document, which is what I've been doing with Gay Pirate Story. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a split screen, and then I'm going to, okay, we're going to go to View, we're going to go to Layout, and we're going to go to Split Vertically, and split them vertically. And I'm going to make this smaller. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do Command click and select both part 1 and part 2. Not Angel, sorry. Just part 1 and part 2 in corkboard mode, and we're going to click on this little icon and go lock in place. So this one is stuck. We can't move it no matter what we click on. In the binder. It may skip to that, but it's not going to change. This one, on the other hand, we just leave and we do it whatever chapter we're currently taking notes on. I'm going to close this so you can see it like that. And whatever chapter we're currently taking notes on, we'll leave it up like that so we can look at the word count, look at the description, the label, etc. Any other document notes I've added, comments, etc. Document references, keywords, metadata. If I want to look at any of that, I can look at that. And then also look at the actual text if I need, but I'm also looking at it printed out. And then when it comes to editing it, I'm going to enter into revision mode, first revision, and then anything I type in revision mode is going to be in a different color. So I know what I've added, edited, what I've changed. And then I also take a snapshot of the original document before I start editing it. So if you just go like this, hit the plus, you take a snapshot of that document as it is now, so that you can easily go back to it if you don't like what you've changed. And yeah, that's pretty much my process right now, and I hope you enjoyed this video or found it helpful as a brief introduction into using Scrivener to write a novel. And make sure to leave your requests for any more Scrivener related videos down below. Thanks so much for watching, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. No mourners, no funerals, and remember to stay alive.